Hello, darling Sagittarius. Welcome to your Scorpio season reading. It's always a thrill to do your reading. These are an exceptional set of cards. When I laid them out, I just was like, whew, I really had to take a deep breath. There's something intense, I'm feeling like your energy really exalted in this, and like you've been really indulged in it and working with your energy in its purest form. So I'm really like full of anticipation to see what's going to come through for you. I did have to clear the space with the singing bowl. I love putting it up by my third eye to clear that area before I do your reading. And I just burned some black sage as well. So I'm all in tune for you. I previous to this reading did the Scorpio and Libra, which got really heavy, so I felt like I really needed to clear out before I stepped into your space. Your center card's going to be for your heart, as this reading was built out of that concept that our chakras can merge into one central chakra in our heart space, and we can become a radiant sun for our world in that way, really giving of our energy to it. There is an overlay of the Western astrological wheel so that we can break down the rays here into different components and speak on them individually. I am going to read the message on the back of your center card just because it's fairly short and sweet. It may or may not relate to what I end up getting through the intuitive reading, which is where I'm going to stick to for the rest of this. So we have a smile fills your heart with longing. Through the magnetism of divine love, you merge with another, and love becomes an all-embracing thought. By a touch, a word, or a glance, love heals, unites, transforms, and transfigures all things. This is your season of love, a time of positive transformation, a time of happiness. So yeah, there is almost like a flowering, like you've been cultivating a lot of love around you, and it's really starting to grow. I'm hearing you may be involved with like community, really building up a community, or at least working on something that's been growing. It may be a creative project, something that's taken a lot of nurturing and very particular care so that it really has its moment when it's going to have its moment, like you've been doing the right kind of nurturing and cultivation for it behind the scenes. And it feels like it's really starting to come out during this time, like you're seeing evidence of any and all of the love that you've been putting into something that's being given back to you and in greater abundance than you've even put into it. It's having that payoff in that way for you. Now I'm looking here at your first house of identity, and I'm hearing like you might be actually showing up a little different than usual. You may not even quite feel like yourself. You may have been in a different space, and this could be something about yourself too, where you've been cultivating yourself in a different way that has taken a bit of like a total self-redo, or at least the adaptation of a character you may be acting or something. I'm not quite sure. But there's something here, and it feels like serious play too. As much as you're trying to have some fun with it and stay curious with it, you are committed to it, in that it's not perfect, but that it's human, and it has almost that element of artistry to it, where it's astounding and well done, but not like overcooked, and not in a way where it's like design where it's too perfect. Excuse me, the sage always gets to me. I love it though, I can't help myself. Ooh, I just saw 33. I don't normally catch the numbers on my card. Master number. So, and this is in your house of value, which we're moving into now, and I'm getting a double mother image sign here. I've felt this mothering energy for you earlier in some other readings. You may be caring for children, you may be a parent, you may be a teacher, you just may be doing something with those that are younger than you. And it's like a surprising energy for me to see you handle so well, because for me it feels a little bit foreign, yet you do it really, really well. And I must want to say to anyone that's not a Sagittarius, like, look to a Sagittarius if you need childcare right now or something, because they just seem to have this energy that's on point with the nurturing and this intellectual development, yet their presence is just so calm and assuring at the same time. It's really so masterful. Yeah, and I'm hearing like you've had this since childhood. So there's something that you may have been cultivating since childhood, or you may have brought back out since that was in your childhood that you were very good at, and you're now able to bring that forth now and share it, and it's probably affecting some other people, like family, or just some other people in your more intimate circle. And again, this is fairly intellectual, artistic, and excelled. You know, it's the energy of Sagittarius where you've really taken it beyond normal capacity. Like it makes the rest of humanity, it makes your audience just sort of go, ah, you know, which was that energy I got when I laid out the cards. It kind of like took my breath away. That it's just such a leap into a space, a feeling of mastery here, that it's like great art, you know. Okay, so your third house of communication. Again, I'm getting this feeling really from here and here as well. It's like you're working on something that is artistic again. You know, it feels strange. It feels like you've gone beyond. It's the unexpected element, maybe what I'm trying to hit on here, but yet it loses none of its intellectual rigor. It still holds authenticity, like it's self-validating. It's not empty. It's not superficial by any means. There's something deep and resonant to what you are working with here. And I think that it deserves an audience. It doesn't have to have a huge audience, but it does feel like this isn't just self-serving, you know, like your own musings, that this is really for the collective. And it's something that you may not even entirely understand as you're doing it. You may be kind of channeling it, or letting it reveal its content to you somewhat through the process. It feels very challenging even for you, yet it's like right where you love to be. It's like your territory. So it feels exceptionally authentic. Now, your fourth house of home, this feels super nourishing. Again, I do feel like you have family around you. If not in your immediate environment, you have just a ton of love and support. And this is coming from your energy, like you being such a good person that like people are drawn to that. People feel like they want to come into your frequency because they want to hold that frequency. It is just such a life validating presence that you have. And there's this quality that is slightly old-fashioned here, that You may even have, there's a bit of nostalgia, a bit of kind of like going backwards, something like you may carry kind of a younger energy, even from generations and generations past, with you. And this may be kind of part of your strength, is that like you haven't forgotten the best of history, like it's kind of wired into you somehow. And you are easily in touch with other masters, and you're just part of that legacy in a way. Okay, so your 5th house is about you putting yourself out there, you putting power out there, and how that's received. This card is really detailed, so I'll try to bring it up for you. Yeah, I'm hearing like you may be really stimulated to do something that's taken, kind of makes you lose track of time. I guess that's what I was going to say. You know, you may be working through the night, you may be working during the day, you may be losing track of time. I feel like you're enjoying yourself with it. I'm getting a lot of this energy too from that one. I'll hold that one up for you too. It's very detailed. And again, I'm getting that there's people around you that are cooperating with you, that give you your space, that respect you, that let you cultivate what you need to. It just feels like a very healthy environment, especially if you have a workspace, a blended work and home space, very healthy. Lots of love, lots of support, lots of nourishing. Really nice. Okay. I'm now looking at your house of health and daily routine. And again, everything looks good here. It feels like you are in touch with like a bit of that magic, like you've got that magic. You've got that little extra something here. And you're not prideful about it. It's just that it's so innate to you. It's just so natural for you to be in possession of right now. And I really want to be a Sagittarius. Like, I feel like your life is going really well right now. Yeah, it feels like maybe a little bit weak on like the personal health. Like you're probably not hyper focused on that right now. And like you're almost probably living off of your passion and concepts a little bit more so than, you know, spending an excessive amount of time in the kitchen cooking up things. You know, I'm hearing kind of like foraging and just sort of taking things as needed and not making a fuss too much about your health, but everything's fine because you just have your priorities elsewhere. Now I'm looking here at your house of relationships, balance, beauty, harmony. This is such an inspiring card. And again, we're getting that energy that I was getting before, the oddness a little bit, the stepping out of maybe a role that you've played before, getting uncomfortable in something new and foreign to you, but finding your strength in it, not being bashful about it, asserting your individuality, and allowing yourself to also step out of your energy when necessary, and knowing that you'll be okay with it, not getting, you know, carried away into the mists of time and other things that much, but knowing how to navigate wisely, almost like a shamanic journey, like knowing where you need to go to acquire what you need to like get in touch with things, but not getting lost in that space. So again, there's self-mastery here. I do feel like there's something about research, or acquiring something, or the inspiration that comes through, like just how you're connected to the lineage that's kind of working its way through you is very natural, and you're very open to it. Now I'm looking here at Scorpio Seasons card of the 9th house. So this is where you go deep, where you investigate, where there may be secrets. And here it's like, this is such a great card. Again, like nothing bad. Like I think that if you've had, I don't know what's going on, usually this energy comes out of the cycle of having gone through something really bad. So you may have had a recent cycle where you were challenged excessively during that time, and making it through that cycle, it would have created the fertile ground for a new cycle that's going to start with this type of reward, almost this type of connection, a highness than what seems, like humanly normal. So this is a very like magical, mystical thing going on, and I feel like it has to do with your intuition, like tapping into something in you. Even if you go deep, it doesn't get weird and icky. It gets really fantastic and inspiring. So amazing. Especially, during Scorpio season, to have that type of energy is so blessed. Okay, now we are looking here at your house. So this is where you really step outside of your comfort zone, higher mindedness. And this is something else. Well, what do we have here? So I gotta go with what I'm hearing. You may have been in partnership with someone. Perhaps this is okay, perhaps it's not okay. Perhaps one part of you is easily merged and comfortable in that relationship. Perhaps it creates a foundation for you. But there's something about your individuality that I feel like you want to have more empowerment about. Like you want to be able to self-create, to be more of an individual, explore something that feels unfamiliar to you. And even in doing that, maybe then decide if you wanted to do something different, then you'll do something different. There does seem to be this understanding that it's not always about thought, that sometimes it's just about knowing your passions, knowing how you're connected to certain bloodlines, knowing how to persevere and protect your personal space, and do it not only for yourself, but to be able to lose yourself in it, or to recreate yourself. And something that you're doing may be, again, inspiring those around you, especially if you have, again, kids, your own children, other women, other people. It doesn't have to be females, but just people that get you, that it helps to empower them to, it helps create like a big hurrah for like personal authority. Love this card. Again, pretty detailed. So you may be, a lot of your cards are very detailed. You may be doing something that has a fair amount of detail to it. And your 10th house, this is where you're really building your legacy, where you are accomplishing the most. Yeah, so we're getting like coming out of hibernation, having a masterful mama bear type of energy, That's kind of second nature to you. And in a way, it's like you draw on that, like it gives you some sort of stability. And it's like it's your roots, and yet you know by having that, you get like that contradiction. You're able to really excel in the masculine energy as well, and maybe be doing this, something that's more creative and intellectual and exploring and challenging for yourself and stimulating. So I feel like you are doing what you need to be doing right now, that it is in alignment and that you're framing it well, and it is just, it's like hitting the right notes. It's whatever, maybe it is music, maybe it's composing something, but something is like you get what you're doing here, and you're very natural at it. And you also kind of get like that interplay of ego and channeling as well, like which I've seen threads of here, like there's part of you that is about your identity, and then there's part of you that's just sort of connected to something that speaks through you. Okay, let's look at your house of independence and finding your tribe and humanitarian ideals. Balance, again, we're getting that here. I feel like you feel very balanced and centered in the world, and it's like your space, you're owning it, you're not like even intimidated, like you're unshakable, like you will not let anything thwart this stability of where you need to be to do what you need to do. You have so much self-respect. And your final card is about self-transcendence. So this, for me, is always kind of like the little extra wow factor here during this cycle. Like, if you really are staying in tune and doing the work, then this may be something that happens that really completes it for you, and does it in a way where it's not going to produce another cycle of like karma for it. So I don't know if you can get a more powerful spread. This is just so intense. It's intense, but not in a way that's like like fries your brain or feels overwhelming. It's like that yay intense, like when people do something that you're like, how did they do that as a human being? It has that type of energy. And so here, we see you coming in this energy of supreme creativity from the source, like as deep as it can go. So that I definitely feel like there's a lineage working through you, like cumulative power here that you are tapped into, and you're going for something that is creating so much brilliance in the world, and is at once like because I want to say it's like hope for the future. It's birthing the future in a way. It's going to nourish the future. And so it's almost like a point of exaltation, a pinnacle. So you may be, achieving like your life's work, your masterpiece in a way. That's what I'm definitely getting through here. So it just feels really astounding. And there may be like, I think you're so self-absorbed in a good way, like you're not hyper aware of your ego in this, that once you get through this cycle, it has this energy where you may look back on it and just be like, wow, at some point in your life, like, how did I do that? Because whatever you're working on, I feel like that's everyone else's response to it. It's just going to be like, wow, where did that come from? That's amazing. You know, that's kind of something out of nothingness energy. So thank you for whatever you're doing. I hope that this has really resounded for whomever it's meant for. And I'm sending you love, wishing you peace, prosperity, and many, many blessings to you. Take care.